Most of my life, I have had the two habits of worrying and talking to myself, often at the same time. For example, after I used mustard from a glass jar that dropped on the floor but did not break, I started to worry that I might have missed some minute little splintering of glass somewhere in the jar. So then, of course, I had to discuss this possibility at length with some imaginary listener. Oh gosh, what if I swallowed glass? It could lacerate my stomach. And how would they test for that? Probably not an X-ray, maybe ultrasound or MRI. Oh, MRI. And if they did find glass cuts, I wonder if the doctors would think that I tried to kill myself and I ought to be committed for psychiatric evaluation. So I'm standing around my kitchen yammering away about this, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly I just stopped and I thought, why am I talking about this? And who am I talking to? And immediately the answer came to me. I was talking to the worry police. The worry police exist to enforce an ordinance that says I am required to worry at least 75% of my waking hours. And all of a sudden, I can see these cops. It's two guys. They're, wearing standard blue uniform, paraphernalia hanging off them, tasers, radios, guns. They're about 40 years old, medium height, medium build, beginnings of a paunch, two paunches. And I realized that even though they're 40 years old, they've been on the force for at least 63 years, because I'm 69, and I started this worrying when I was around 6. And there's a good cop and a bad cop. Good cop calls me ma'am. Ma'am, are you aware that you have not been worrying for the last 5 minutes? Oh gosh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Bad cop is stone-faced. He dispenses with the niceties. Actually, we clocked you at 5 minutes, 45 seconds, worry-free. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, I just wasn't thinking. Exactly. Good cop says, ma'am, we need you to take an adrenaline blood level test. Would you please step back into your brain? Bad cop takes the reading. At 0.01. Ma'am, your adrenaline level needs to be at least 0.05. Bad cop cuffs me. Systolic 130, diastolic 75. Not bad enough? Not even in the ballpark. But, ma'am, we are just here to see that you worry to the full extent of the law. Here's an example of how diligent these cops are. I was walking on the rubberized surface of the children's playground when I started to imagine some conscientious citizen criticizing me for it. Can't you walk on the pavement like every other adult? If everybody takes a shortcut across the playground, it will constantly have to be resurfaced at taxpayers' expense. So I explain that I suffer from chronic back pain, and those few measly seconds on that soft surface give me a little relief. Conscientious citizen says, really? Back pain? And I'm starting to fume. Mind you, none of this conversation has actually taken place. My cops are beaming over this. They take full credit. Earlier that same day, I had to catch a bus because I had to go to my office to prepare for a class I was going to teach. On my way to the bus stop, a neighbor stopped to chat with me, and I excused myself, explaining that I was a little late and I had to catch a bus. I caught the bus, but all the way on the way to work, I obsessed about what would have happened if I'd missed the bus and had to walk into that class unprepared and face 28 disdainful undergraduates, all of whom would have thought I was wasting their time. My cops high-fived each other over that one. They're so good. They're so good they even follow me when I'm taking a walk. It's like the President of the United States followed 24/7 by secret security agents. I have to constantly be thinking about the implication, which is we're here because there's a distinct possibility that you are going to die. However, lately I've taken to glancing back at them. Hi, guys. They hate it when I do that. But you know, they had me waking up at 5 a.m. to worry that if we had a thunderstorm, hypothetical golf ball-sized hail might damage my roof before I could sell my house. It's 5 a.m. and these cops are in bed with me. They had to spoon with each other for the three of us to fit. I said, "Cops, you're in bed with me? That can't be comfortable for you." "It's all in the line of duty, ma'am." Or I'll be taking a shower, just relaxing, enjoying the nice hot water on my back. And then I'll think, what if I slip and fall and conk my head and I'm lying there unconscious with the water hitting my nose and my mouth? I could drown. And I say, "Hey, cops, I'm in the shower. Give me some privacy here." "Ma'am, vigilance trumps privacy." "But following me into the bathroom? How do we know that shower won't calm you down?" And I have to admit, it had been calming me down. Good cop says, "Ma'am, think of it this way. If you are not worrying, anything could be a surprise. But if I am worrying, anything could be a surprise. I can't worry about everything." Don't be so sure. Just between you and me, recognizing that it's the cops making me worry is actually causing me to worry less. I've even started to tease them. Like maybe I'll go for a good long stretch of time worry-free, and then I'll have a really minor unsettling thought like, what if my watch is slow and it's 10 minutes later than I think it is? And I'll say, "Oh, cops, you're back." Say, "I would hate to report you for dereliction of duty, but my worries, they're getting kind of piddly." "Ma'am, no worry is too piddly." I started to worry about my worry cops. Because on the one hand, when I am worrying, they're working so hard. I feel sorry for them. They never take a break. On the other hand, if I'm not worrying, I feel kind of guilty that I'm letting them down. The other day I asked them, "What do you worry about?" Well, it turns out that 70% of their worries are job-related. They worry that I'm not worrying enough, which kind of made me wonder, who are their enforcers? Anyway, their worries have now been realized. I'm getting pretty complacent. And they've gotten so frustrated that they put in for a transfer and got it. Their new assignment is to convince an extreme sports enthusiast to fear death. I think that's going to be a very nice challenge for them. So we've said our goodbyes. I did make a little faux pas. I said, "Take it easy." Bad cop glared at me. Good cop said, "Ma'am, we know you didn't mean it that way." Good cop's parting words to me were, "Ma'am, worry, don't be happy." I responded ambiguously, "Don't worry, I will."